Monday arrived with capital rain and carriage mud on the academy gates and the particular administrative attention that meant someone had filed paperwork before dawn. Nova walked the main approach with attaché behind and guard escort dismissed at county border as scheduled and public face arranged in air courtesy that had survived Manor Week without cracking. Private face carried rank 5 in muscle memory now, not theoretical path, not crisis achievement waiting channel, but body knowledge of simultaneous fault identification at execution speed with dark purple-black cipher blaze still ghosting behind her eyes when she closed them too long. Public face remained rank 4 until she chose otherwise. She chose otherwise before second bell. Not board. Not demonstration. Crisis documentation. The Manor incident report had crossed provincial lines Sunday night with more than courier cover stripped by Rian's careful wording, and Academy Security Office had opened certification misuse file before her carriage reached the capital because 2 rank 5 operatives had carried combat arrays stamped with Academy training seals in unauthorized enforcement geometry against an enrolled student off grounds. Standing calculus did not wait for her preference. Standing calculus had been updated by operatives who retreated and left residue that photographed badly for Morthan's office. She filed formal advancement confirmation with Scholar Torin as witness sponsor and attached crisis combat documentation, redacted for corridor travel, but sufficient for rank 5 authentication review. The Academy Advancement Office processed before lunch. Public rank 5 confirmed. The community heard before she reached her dormitory corridor. Mixed was the accurate word. Scholarship floor split along lines that had nothing to do with inscription, and everything to do with who had decided Nova Vane was interesting before, and who had decided she was problem after. Mara from the Eastern Scholarship Cluster stopped her outside the annex stair and said, "They said you fought 2 of them." Nova said, "They said correctly." Mara said, "At your house." Nova said, "Yes." Mara looked at her the way scholarship students looked at nobility when nobility did something that made the floor's survival math recalculate. Not admiration. Recalculation. Edwick passed without stopping and said, "Congratulations on the advancement," in tone that meant he had already filed where congratulations belonged in his personal standing map. Syrah found her at the inscription garden wall before third bell with tea she had not been asked to bring. Syrah said, "Rank 5. Nova said, "Public now." Syrah said, "Manor." Nova said, "Documentation channel." Syrah said, "Head will file something." Nova said, "Head files everything." Syrah handed her the tea. Syrah said, "I'm glad you're alive." Not warm. Precise. Nova said, "Thank you." Syrah left before the moment could become performance. Nova drank the tea. Filed glad as data point with higher weight than congratulations. Torin's office door was open 1 inch when she arrived after 4th bell. That was invitation in Torin grammar. She entered. He did not stand. He looked at her the way he looked at a proof that had changed category overnight. He said, "How?" She said, "Crisis." He said, "What kind?" She said, "The kind with 2 rank 5 mages in my family study." He closed the door. The latch sound was not dramatic. It was operational. 2 chairs. Desk cleared except for 1 folder she recognized as his Thursday drawer folio and 1 blank notebook he kept for conversations that could not go to paper afterward. He said, "Start." She started with anchor nodes because sequence mattered and because Rian had received vaulted circle name without nodes and Torin had earned full map. 19 mapped inside academy and embassy infrastructure. Authentication grammar consistent across clusters. Foundation panels, practice hall maintenance windows, annex perimeter revision points, embassy corridor junctions she had logged without acquisition confession on any report head could copy. Estimated 41 kingdom total by extrapolation from density patterns and more than infrastructure language cross-reference. Not 147 yet, that count would come later as provincial nodes surfaced. For now, 19 confirmed locations, dismantling 40 minutes per node when standing and legal access permitted. Standing not yet sufficient for open dismantling, mapping sufficient for 0-day fault logic to grow in memory. Torin listened without interrupting. He asked 3 questions about authentication overlap at node 11. She answered from memory encoding. He asked one question about embassy cluster timing relative to examination week observer frequency. She answered. He said silence. Not question. Hypothesis invocation. She said, hypothesis only. Not named on paper. Not spoken in corridor. Framework reconstructed from mother's proof efficiency ceiling argument plus sever cluster intentionality in restricted catalog memory plus anchor node authentication grammar designed to load something distributed. Working name in head only. Activation mechanism unknown. Timeline unknown. Purpose. Constrain inscription ability across approved framework by distributed enforcement load. Predecessor pattern in sever school suppression records Torrens folio references. Test population approximately 2,000. Outcome. Ability loss within 5 years, not practice failure, structural alteration. Torrens' jaw tightened once. He said, proof. She said, 47 pages. Efficiency ceiling artificially imposed. Cipher at full theoretical basis, approximately 6 times standard approved energy efficiency. Derivation holds. Experimental appendix consistent. Submission prepared for Grand Archive. Registry receipt exists. Manuscript trail dead after classification pending. Vane told Rian submission never received. Very sorry about it. Carriage accident was not accident. Father knew 6 years. Inscription stress on axle bracket. Combat grammar at microscale. No courtroom proof tied to hand. Pattern sufficient. Torrens said, vault. She said, original in Manor vault. Copy in Cipher fold, rotated daily. Rian briefed partial organization name, more than operational arm, pause on crane holds. Not nodes. Not proof math. Not identity. Tonight you get full map in memory. Paper stays split custody. He said, Kira. She said, they killed her for the proof. Or killed her to stop publication and proof was mechanism. Same outcome shape. Magnificent work. Incomplete only because she died. I am not publishing before rank 6 standing and witness protocol sufficient. That threshold unchanged. Crisis changed speed not threshold. Silence held. Not comfortable. Load bearing. He opened the drawer folio without showing her the pages. He said, names. She said, 7 suppressed researchers confirmed pattern. Marate thus replication failure review. Henry Coyle safety funding revoked. Lauren Vay retirement gap age 38. Pella Drast practice hall fatality equipment failure. Iron Hale mental fitness forced retirement. Sondmar credentials suspended post-patch. Tomas Gray inverted plagiarism after archive routing altered submission. For years pattern. Same outcome shape. Different notation schools. She paused. She said, operational names confirmed separate stack. David more than office as enforcement logistics and provincial infrastructure. More than courier cover on Manor operatives Friday. Len Crane as archivist secondary observer pipeline risk, compliance review weapon possible. Grand archivist Vane Crane as institution head, suspect category, not courtroom confirmed, warm corridor frequency personal, pride language recurring, godfather access to family, submission apology on record. Rian suspects. I have not confirmed identity allowed to father. You have not confirmed to head. Pause holds. Torrens said, vaulted circle history. She said, internal organization name and records. Public-facing members use titles. Constrained approved inscription framework on purpose. Suppress research proving sealing artificial. Enforcement teams when archives and inquiries fail. Mother's work threatened constraint. My work threatens constraint. Manor attack was enforcement response to East Wing activity intelligence. Operatives retreated. They will send again. Torrens stood. Walked to window. Rain on glass. Capital gray. He said, first fully shared operational picture. She said yes. He said, took 2 years. She said, protection insufficient until now. He said, protection still insufficient. She said, agreed. Better than alone. He turned. He said, rank 5 public changes head pipeline. Changes scholarship floor. Changes more than calculus. Does not change crane pause. Does not change publication threshold. Does change what quiet time means. She said, quiet time ended Friday 1500 Manor time. He said, I know. He said, Caden. She said, not yet. Security report will reach him before I choose channel. Let institution file first. Torin looked at her. Assessment. He said, operational calculus update. You are now visible at rank 5. Visible is target. Target requires network. Network currently. You, me, Sarah partial, Rian partial, Pren documentation channel, Lisa indirect exercise channel. Not Caden. Not Crane. Not Head. She said, accurate. He said, Thursday continues. She said, careful upgraded. He almost smiled. Almost was Torin equivalent of warmth. 2 hours had passed. Bell 6 sounded distant. He opened the door. Not dismissal. Release. She returned to dormitory corridor where whispers had already begun organizing themselves into factions. Mixed response continued. She filed mixed as weather. Weather required adjustment, not panic. At desk, she wrote in the notebook, Monday return. Public rank 5 confirmed via crisis documentation, Manor certification misuse file, 2 rank 5 operatives, academy seals unauthorized. Community mixed. Mara recalculation. Edwick filed. Sarah, glad alive. Torin 2 hours, first full operational picture shared. 19 anchor nodes mapped, 41 estimated, the enemy spoken aloud office only. Proof vault split custody. Kira death pattern. 7 suppressed researchers named. Operational stack, more than enforcement, Len observer risk, Crane suspect category without identity confirmation to Rian. Suppression network history complete channel. Caden not briefed, security report first. Quiet time ended. Network named. Thursday continues. Standing visible. Work continues. She closed notebook. Rain continued. Framework breathed underneath. She breathed with it, not safe, not finished, but the work continued. Tuesday, the Academy learned what public rank 5 sounded like when it traveled faster than official explanation. Whispers moved through stone corridors the way humidity moved through annex walls, invisible until it condensed on surfaces people touched without thinking. Breakfast hall carried the sound before food did, forks clicking quieter than usual because conversation had become inventory and inventory required attention that silverware competed with. Nova took porridge and fruit and seat at scholarship table with deliberate ordinary posture. Ordinary posture was work. Work had intensified 1 rank overnight. Whispers moved past her in fragments. She did not chase and fragments. She filed without turning her head. Someone near the bread station said advancement board had been bypassed. Someone near the tea urn said Manor had been a demonstration staged for political effect. Someone at the far table said nothing and watched her hands around the cup the way watchers watched East Wing doors, measuring what kind of opening this was. She drank tea. Hand steady. Steady was not performance. Steady was baseline maintained because baseline was cover and cover was not lie. Whispers continued through second bell. Nova heard 3 versions before breakfast ended. Version 1. She had defeated 2 academy instructors in formal duel at Manor. Version 2. More than operatives had attempted kidnapping and she had driven them off with illegal notation. Version 3, quieter, more accurate, enforcement team with certified combat arrays had entered Vane East Wing and left with residue that photographed badly, and she had countered at rank 5 speed in air. Version 3 came from scholarship floor students who read security filing summaries the way scholarship students read everything quickly, completely, with survival grammar applied. Mixed reaction organized itself by lunch. Noble-aligned clusters treated public rank 5 as confirmation of threat they had always filed under Vane ambition. Scholarship floor split between those who recalculated her as asset and those who recalculated her as liability that attracted enforcement teams to shared buildings. Mara said at Annex Stair, they're saying you shouldn't be here if more than sends rank 5 to family houses. Nova said, more than sends rank 5 because I am here. Mara said, that's not comforting. Nova said, it's accurate. Pren found her after advanced theory and said, failure mode logs need rank 5 authentication header now. Nova said, submit with redaction. Pren said, already did. Trust currency. Spent carefully. returned in small denominations. Standing shift was measurable by afternoon. Instructor Mavitt's third-year practical section had treated her as rank 4 candidate with interesting notation edges. Same section Tuesday treated her as rank 5 practitioner who did not require correction phrasing in demonstration review. Correction phrasing was institutional respect encoded in grammar. Its absence was louder than congratulations. Head appeared in advanced theory gallery at second bell with clipboard and stillness that filed. Nova had learned to recognize head stillness by weight, the particular quality of attention that did not lean forward and did not lean back and therefore occupied more space than movement would have. 2 adjunct observers flanked him at distance. New, or newly visible. Gallery protocol allowed observer triads during post-examination review windows. Post-examination had ended 2 weeks prior. Window was fiction. Fiction was cover. Cover was not lie. Nova performed rank 3 clean skeleton in paired exercise with scholarship partner who had begun over-enunciating notation strokes as if proximity to rank 5 required audible deference. Partner was Mara. Mara had not moved tables. Mara had moved grammar instead, asking questions in exercise that were really questions about whether rank 5 practitioners still did paired work with scholarship students or whether paired work had been elevation theater. Nova answered exercise questions only. Exercise questions were safer than survival questions. Safer was not kind. Kind was future tense. She did not correct Mara's deference. Deference was corridor data. Head wrote. Did not approach during exercise. Watched authentication stroke at panel 7 where Nova compressed Cipher edge without display. Compression without display was year 3 discipline. Discipline was what head could praise without adjectives that became weapons. He wrote during panel 7. Longer line than panels 1 through 6. Nova filed longer line. Approached after dismissal when students cleared. He said, Lady Vane. Nova said, Scholar Head. He said, congratulations on advancement confirmation. Tone, favorable with caution wearing new shoes. She said, thank you. He said, crisis documentation channel is unusual. She said, crisis was unusual. He said, certification misuse filing will produce supplementary review. She said, I assumed. He looked at her clipboard. Looked at her. He said, rank 5 practitioners are subject to expanded observation under year 3 mentorship protocol. Nova said, I have Scholar Torin. Head said, primary mentorship is noted. Supplementary observation is standard. Standard was cover word. Cover was not lie. Pipeline was real underneath. She said, understood. He wrote 1 additional line. He said, continue careful. Same sentence from 3 arcs ago. New weight. He left. Nova filed head observation as weather upgrade, not storm, not calm, sustained attention with adjectives pending. Scholarship floor reaction crystallized at evening meal and in the intervals between, corridor passes where nods appeared or failed to appear, study room doors that opened or did not when she approached shared annex resources. The small geography of who stood closer to the inscription garden wall when she walked past. Standing shift was not single event. Standing shift was sediment accumulating on every surface institution touched. Eastern cluster. 3 students who had shared study Corel with her year 2 moved to adjacent table without explanation. One of them, Joss, Notation School Western Valleys, reliable failure mode partner, left note in Corel slot anyway. Note said, moved because mother wrote. Not because of you. Sorry. Sorry was not apology. Sorry was survival grammar. Nova filed note. Kept slot. Did not occupy Corel during observer window. Occupation would have been provocation head did not need. Western cluster. 2 students who had avoided her year 1 asked whether rank 5 advancement included mentorship access for lower ranks. She said, ask Scholar Torin. They looked disappointed. Disappointment was also data. Northern Scholarship representative from Committee T observers stopped her outside dining hall with expression that said committee had met without her and produced opinion. Representative said, they want to know if you'll still tutor lower ranks. Nova said, I tutor when asked and when time allows. Representative said, that's not a no. Nova said, it's accurate. Representative left with accuracy filed as politics. Politics was not her stack tonight. Her stack was standing visible and observer weather and map in memory. Sarah sat across from her with deliberate normalcy. Sarah said, had filed something before dinner. Annex observers tomorrow. Nova said, expected. Sarah said, crane corridor frequency will increase. Nova said, expected. Sarah said, are you eating? Not mothering. Inventory. Nova looked at plate. She said enough. Sarah said, good. Caden was not in dining hall. Caden had not been in dining hall since Manor departure 2 weeks prior. His absence was pattern. Pattern was not yet broken. Nova did not seek him. Seeking before security report reached him would have been channel management he would recognize as management. Recognition was future problem. Tuesday problem was standing. Standing had shifted from interesting to visible. Visible attracted observers. Observers required performance discipline upgraded 1 tier. She spent evening in Annex Corral with full discipline and map rehearsal in memory and no paper map on desk because heads tomorrow meant Corral discipline was not optional. Fold rotation took 40 minutes. 40 minutes of Cipher lock rewrite daily was meditation if you were honest about what meditation meant. Repetitive precision that kept panic from colonizing hands. She rewrote lock. Checked proof copy segment against memory checksum. Proof copy intact. Original in vault 3 days north with father who now knew organization name and not nodes. Split custody held. Map rehearsal. 19 nodes in order of dismantling priority when standing allowed. Node 11 authentication overlap. Node 19 more than language fingerprint. Embassy cluster timing relative to examination observers. Rehearsal was not action. Rehearsal was how zero-day logic stayed sharp without demonstration. Demonstration was visibility she could not yet afford on map work. Visibility on rank she already had. Rank visibility and map visibility were different columns in calculus. She kept columns separate. Whispers continued in corridor outside. Version 4 appeared. Someone said Grand Archivist Crane had sponsored her advancement personally. Version 4 was fiction. Useful fiction for Crane pipeline warmth. Nova did not correct version 4 in corridor. Correction would have been gift to wrong audience. Version 5 appeared before Annex closed. Someone said she had killed one operative and crippled the other. Version 5 was fiction with teeth. Teeth required no correction either. Correction fed teeth. Silence starved them slowly. She left Annex at 9th bell. Corridor cooler. Rain had stopped. Capital night carried ordinary student sounds, laughter from upper dormitory, someone practicing notation aloud behind closed door, institution pretending this was still school and not battlefield with better architecture. Pretending was cover. Cover was not lie. She walked through pretending toward sleep she would not fully get. At desk before sleep, she wrote in the notebook, Tuesday whispers 3 false versions, 1 accurate scholarship floor version. Mixed reaction, noble threat filing, scholarship asset liability split. Mara, more than sense because I am here. Pren, failure logs resubmitted rank 5 header. Mavit section, correction phrasing absent, respect grammar shifted. Head gallery observation post-advancement, favorable with caution upgraded, supplementary year 3 observation filed, continue careful repeated. Scholarship floor, Corel migration east, mentorship requests west. Sarah, head filed, Annex observers tomorrow, crane frequency expected. Caden absent dining, pattern holds, no channel yet. Standing visible. Performance discipline upgraded. Corel discipline tonight. No paper map. Work continues. She closed notebook. Whispers faded after 3rd bell. Observers would not fade. She adjusted and continued through the pretending toward sleep she would not fully get. Wednesday Security Office filed the certification misuse report in the Academy's internal enforcement channel before 2nd bell. The filing itself was quiet. Quiet was how institutions preferred damning documents to travel, stamped, routed, copied to channels that pretended separation and functioned as network. Nova received copy through Torrens' office, not through student mail, because student mail would have been corridor theater and theater was Morthan's preferred terrain. She read it standing at Torrens' window because sitting would have made it mentorship when it was evidence. The report was careful. The report was also damning in the way administrative language became damning when it refused to use adjectives. 2 combat inscription arrays bearing Academy training authentication seals deployed off grounds against enrolled student. Seals valid. Authorization invalid. Operative identification incomplete. Courier cover stripped. Plate registry inconclusive. Provincial pursuit ineffective per attached manor statement. Student response documented at rank 5 execution speed with counter-inscription in air. Counter-inscription method described without cipher notation name, fault overlap identification, simultaneous trigger deployment, residue photography showing dark high-contrast blaze pattern across east wing interior surfaces. No student injuries. Operative retreat documented. Manor guard pursuit ineffective per attached statement. More than administrative movement signature referenced without formal accusation. Formal accusation required tribunal. Tribunal required political will. Political will was future tense. Present tense, report existed. Present tense, certification misuse was now institution's problem, not merely Vane family's problem. Present tense, Academy could not pretend off-grounds enforcement using its seals was provincial gossip. Torin read this same copy at his desk when she finished. He said, more than pipeline. She said, active. He said, East Wing activity summary was foreshadow. This is confirmation. He slid second sheet. Regional infrastructure report language cross-referenced with Node 19 authentication grammar. Monan Provincial Office had filed maintenance authorization for a state perimeter inscription review 3 weeks before Manor Week. Timing, not coincidence shape. Intentionality fingerprint, same. He slid third sheet. Vina channel summary from Tuesday dusk. East Wing activity summary had appeared in more than administrative stack beside infrastructure curiosity language before attack. Curiosity was euphemism. Euphemism was how pipelines telegraphed moves to people who knew grammar. He said, they knew East Wing was active. She said, archive duplicate leak path still primary hypothesis. He said, hypothesis sufficient for operational map. She said, not sufficient for court. He said, court is not current battlefield. She agreed without speaking. He said, more than pipeline stage 2. She said, define. He said, denial prepared. Watcher frequency increase. Administrative pressure on Academy to classify incident as family security matter, not certification misuse. She said, classification would kill tribunal path. He said, yes. She said, security office filed anyway. He said, because seals were undeniable. Undeniable was leverage. Leverage was not victory. Leverage was tool. Tools required hands willing to hold them. Hands at Academy security office had held tool one day. Whether hands would keep holding was weather not forecast. Annex observers arrived on schedule. Head had filed. 2 adjunct scholars with clipboards and polite distance. Nova performed careful. Careful was not concealment. Careful was giving auditors failure modes instead of acquisition routes. Pren's consolidated logs on desk. Redacted clusters. Below threshold grammar hole documented without naming silence. Observers wrote. Left without adjectives. Nova could parse from posture. Small victory. Victory was sediment, not blaze. Wednesday afternoon, Grand Archivist Crane appeared in Annex corridor the way he appeared when he wanted to be seen, appearing unhurried, warm, precise, door language without door. He was not at her corral. He was 30 meters away speaking with Instructor Mavitt about Year 3 Advancement Notation Supplementary Review. Warmth at this distance was performance for corridor witnesses. Precision underneath was real. Nova continued copying failure mode cluster into redacted log format. Copying was cover. Cover was not lie. Watching was also work. Crane's voice carried without carrying words, tone calibrated for reassurance, the register he used at family dinners when he offered doors and meant gates. Mavitt nodded at appropriate intervals. Appropriate intervals were choreography. Choreography suggested this conversation had been scheduled, not spontaneous. Scheduled warmth was pipeline warmth with appointment timestamp. Crane glanced once in her direction. Not acknowledgement. Assessment. Eyes held 1 second. 1 second was enough to file. He knew she was watching him watch her. He continued conversation. Mavitt said something about rank 5 practitioners requiring supplementary notation review for curriculum compliance. Compliance was Len Crane's future weapon. Future was not present. Present was warmth in corridor measuring whether she would approach. She did not approach. Approach would have been initiation. Initiation was channel she had not chosen. Crane's hand gesture, small, open, suggested encouragement to Mavit and to corridor generally. Encouragement from Crane was pipeline warmth. Pipeline warmth was not safety. Pipeline warmth was weather that preceded pressure systems. Torin had warned, Crane corridor frequency personal after family visit filed stability indicator. Frequency had increased. Warmth noted. Not answered. After Crane left, Mavit passed her Corel. Mavit said, Archivist Crane asked after your progress. Nova said, Scholar Torin supervises my progress. Mavit said, I conveyed that. Mavit left. Conveyed was neutral word. Neutral was not safe. Neutral was information traveling upward without Nova's mouth opening. Information traveling was pipeline function. Pipeline function was why pause on Crane held. Vena's middle ring message arrived coded at dusk. More than pipeline intelligence. David Morden's office had received copy of Academy certification misuse filing within 4 hours of submission. Response. Denial language prepared. Courier routes under review. No second enforcement team filed yet. Yet was operative word. Nova read message twice. Filed yet as timeline pressure not immediate breach. Cadence still had not appeared. Security report would reach Royal Order Night Scholar channels through parallel filing. Parallel filing was institution doing its job. Institution's job was not her job. Her job was letting report travel correct path so conversation that followed carried documentation wait not confession wait. Sierra brought witness template revision for Corridor Fiction version 3. They worked 20 minutes. Sierra said, Crane was in corridor. Nova said, I know. Sierra said, warm. Nova said, precise. Sierra said, same thing with him. Nova said, often. Evening Torin sent 7 names consolidation note through secure channel, not paper, memory queue for Thursday drawer review. Consolidation meant cross-link suppression pattern to anchor authentication grammar in fault database encoding. No new names. Same 7. Stronger links. Tomas Gray inverted plagiarism now linked to archive routing alteration grammar shared with restricted catalog acquisition metadata. Pattern held. Pattern was weapon future tense. She worked fault database in head until eyes tired. Before sleep, she walked once around dormitory perimeter without map in pocket. Perimeter walk was habit from Manor Week. Habit was not paranoia. Habit was calibration, noting which windows faced courtyard, which corridor angles allowed sight lines from administrative wing, which lamps burned late. Calibration produced no new threats tonight. Threats were not always visible. Visible was rank 5. Invisible was more than watcher frequency increase Vina had flagged. She filed both. Return to room. Lamp low. Notebook open. Outside, annex wing lamps dimmed one by one as students closed carols and institution pretended sleep erased standing calculus. Pretense was cover. Cover was not lie. Standing calculus did not sleep when students did. Standing calculus accumulated in sleep debt and whisper sediment and receipt stamps traveling parallel channels. She wrote in the notebook, Wednesday certification misuse report filed internal enforcement channel. Academy problem now not only Manor problem. Torin, more than pipeline confirmed, East Wing foreshadow to breach, Node 19 intentionality fingerprint, archive leak hypothesis primary. Tribunal future tense. Annex observers had scheduled, failure modes given, no acquisition routes, no adjectives from posture. Crane corridor appearance, warmth precise, Mavic conversation, advancement notation supplementary, glance assessment not acknowledgement. Pipeline warmth noted not answered. Vina, more than received filing 4 hours, denial prepared, no second team yet operative. Caden parallel filing pending. Sierra witness template version 3. 7 names consolidation queue, same list stronger links, Tomas Gray to catalog routing grammar. Security report traveling. Channel discipline holds. Work continues. She closed notebook. Corridor lights dimmed to evening protocol. Crane warmth lingered in memory as weather reading. More than denial lingered as pressure reading. Both were data, and neither required response tonight, only filing and sleep debt that would not fully pay itself back. Thursday, the security report reached Royal Order Night Scholar channels the way reports reached institutions that pretended military and academic filing systems did not touch. They touched. Overlap was feature, not bug. Nova knew the report had traveled because Torin monitored parallel tracking for operational reasons Torin did not pretend were scholarly. Royal Order Administrative Clerk filed receipt stamp visible on tracking copy. Receipt stamp time, second bell. Nova learned time at second bell 15. She was in advanced theory when stamp registered. She finished theory. She did not hurry. Hurrying would have been anticipation performing. Anticipation was data she kept in column 6. Column 6 was not action column. Caden appearance time, fourth bell. Between second bell and fourth bell, she filed ordinary schedule. Ordinary schedule was armor. Lunch in dining hall, scholarship table, porridge, observation of Whisper version 6 claiming Royal Order had opened investigation into her not more than. Version 6 was half fiction. Investigation into certification misuse was institutionally true. Investigation into her was corridor fear grammar. She did not correct version 6. Correction fed fear. Annex hour with Pren consolidating cluster B authentication logs. Logs required rank 5 header now. Header changed how clerks filed. Filing changed who read. Reading was how reports reached night scholars with receipt stamps. At third bell, she returned to dormitory room to collect notation folio for evening annex session. Room was as she left it. Fold intact. Cipher lock unbroken. No search signature. Search was future tense. Future tense was not comfort. Future tense was planning input. Fourth bell approached. She remained in room. Door knock once. His knock. She had learned his knock the way she learned authentication grammar, pattern recognition, without emotional annotation. Emotional annotation was luxury. Luxury was future tense. She said, enter. He entered. Closed door. Did not sit. Standing was his grammar when purpose had not yet found sentence. He held nothing. Report was already in him. Report in him was heavier than paper. She noted weight in posture, shoulders set 1 degree beyond ordinary corridor posture, jaw not tight, eyes inventory not accusation. Inventory was improvement over hostility. Improvement was not alliance. He said, you're rank 5 now. She said, yes. He said, you were rank 5 in the Manor attack. She said, apparently. He said, you could have been killed. Silence. Not performance silence. Inventory silence. She let it hold because filling it would have been management and management would have been lie that this was only rank update conversation. He said, I'm not saying that as I'm noting that you were unprotected and they sent rank 5 operatives. She said, I noticed. Something shifted in the air between them. Not warmth. Not alliance. Recalculation. The kind of recalculation that happened when hostile observation encountered evidence that did not fit existing category file. He did not acknowledge shift. Acknowledgement would have been sentence and sentence would have been commitment and commitment was not what he came to offer. He said nothing further. He went. Door closed. Footsteps down corridor. Ordinary rhythm. Ordinary was cover. Inside cover she stood at desk and did not open notebook immediately because hands required 1 minute to return to stillness. Stillness was skill. Skill had learned Price Friday at Manor. Price was not abstract anymore. She breathed once. Counted authentication strokes in memory to re-establish baseline. Baseline returned. She wrote in the notebook, Caden read security report, certification misuse, Manor attack, rank 5 counter-inscription documented. Came fourth bell. Exact exchange, rank 5 now, yes. Rank 5 at Manor, apparently. Could have been killed, silence. Unprotected, rank 5 operatives sent, I noticed. Shift in air. Unacknowledged. He went. Hostile observation recalculating. Not alliance. Not warmth. Evidence exceeded category file. Channel opened 1 degree without permission requested or granted. Let institution file first, succeeded. Confession weight avoided. Documentation weight carried. After entry she stood at window. Courtyard below carried students crossing between annex and dining hall. No Caden visible. Visibility was not required, but the shift in air remained. Recalculation without category label. Caden was not institution. He was a person who had chosen inventory over speech and left before speech could become commitment. Commitment deferred was not rejection, and rejection would have been easier to file, but easier was not accurate. She closed notebook. Fourth bell faded. Fifth bell approached. She went to annex because ordinary schedule was armor, and armor was not lie. In corridor, she passed Caden going opposite direction. He looked at her. She looked at him. Neither spoke. Speaking would have been acknowledgement. Acknowledgement was deferred. Deferred was not denied. She filed deferred in channel labeled Caden. Upgrading. Upgrading was not trust. Upgrading was movement. Movement was data. Thursday channel with Torin proceeded on schedule moved back to Thursday because crisis week had bent schedules and schedules were returning to shape. Torin's office smelled of damp wool and ink. Same smell as Monday. Monday felt farther than 4 days. 4 days contained public rank 5 and full operational picture and security report and Caden inventory silence. Contained was accurate verb. Torin said, he read it. Nova said, I know. Torin said, reaction. Nova said, noted risk. Noted I noticed. Left. Torin said, better than speech. Nova said, unknown. Torin said, speech performs. Silence inventories. She filed Torin's sentence. Accurate enough. Torin poured tea. Pouring was mentorship signal. Mentorship was allowed channel. He said, Royal Order will file parallel summary. She said, expected. He said, your name will appear as respondent not defendant if certification misuse frame holds. She said, if. He said, more than classification pressure begins tomorrow. She said, family security matter fiction. He said, yes. She said, security office already filed. He said, friction is the point. Friction was not victory. Friction was tool. Tools again. She drank tea. Evening scholarship floor had new whisper version. Caden Ashvale seen leaving Vane dormitory corridor with expression scholarship students interpreted as anger. Version was fiction. Useful fiction. Anger was simpler than recalculation. Sarah said at meal, he looked. Stopped. Nova said, I know how he looked. Sarah said, are you? Nova said, functional. Sarah accepted functional. Functional was language they shared. Pren sat 2 seats down and said nothing. Nothing from Pren was support grammar. Support grammar was rare. Rare was valuable. Valuable was not safety. Night brought rain again. Capital rain. Annex windows wept. Nova worked fold rotation and exercise 9 follow-up design for Lisa channel. Exercise 9 had been in transit during Manor Week. Receipt confirmed before departure. Response latency acceptable. No response content yet. Content would come through Caden relay or not at all. Not at all was acceptable. Acceptable was bounded hope. Hope was not operational word. Operational word was continue. Exercise 10 required density normalization integrated with failure mode that assumed inconsistent ward pressure. Lesson from Manor East Wing ward hum testing weak point. Ward hum had been external pressure testing door weak point. Weak point testing was reconnaissance grammar. Reconnaissance grammar preceded breach. Breach had followed. Exercise 10 taught ward variance recognition without teaching breach. Teaching breach was not her stack for Lisa. Her stack was re-engagement without re-traumatization. She calibrated psychological pacing against Torin's expulsion records channel, what Lisa could tolerate after exercise 7 fix had landed. 7 fix had been density normalization preamble. 10 extended preamble into field conditions. Extension was trust spent in small denomination. Trust spent was not trust confirmed. Trust confirmed was future tense. She wrote exercise on plain paper without cipher name. Plain paper traveled postal. Postal was middle ring. Middle ring was not embassy drop. Embassy drop was traceable. Traceable was not tonight. At desk before sleep, she added to the notebook entry, Thursday channel Torin, Caden read confirmed. Silence inventory better than speech per Torin, unknown per me. Scholarship whisper, Caden anger fiction. Sarah, Functional accepted. Exercise 10 design, ward pressure variance, density preamble, Lisa indirect channel continues. Caden channel upgrading not alliance. Documentation path succeeded. Work continues. She closed notebook. Rain on glass. Recalculation in air still ghosting. Ghosting was not resolution, and resolution was future tense, but the work continued through Friday's ordinary cover and into the week ahead. Friday Nova processed Caden the way she processed fault conditions, systematically, without forcing conclusion before evidence completed its circuit. Sleep had been thin. Thin sleep was cost column. Cost column did not cancel calculus column 6. Calculus column 6 still read, Caden no longer cleanly outside network. Morning arrived with gray light and dining hall porridge and the institution's pretense that Friday was ordinary end of week. Ordinary end of week was cover. Cover was not lie. Operational calculus ran parallel. Calculus column 1, public rank 5 made her visible target. Calculus column 2, Manor attack confirmed more than would send again. Calculus column 3, security report created institutional record that could support future tribunal if political will materialized. Calculus column 4, Caden had read report and come to her room, and inventory silence had carried more weight than congratulations from entire scholarship floor. Calculus column 5, Caden was not in network. Calculus column 6, Caden was no longer cleanly outside network either. Column 6 was new. New required reassessment, not action. Action without reassessment was how operatives ended in East Wing studies with paired enforcement geometry. She did not action. She assessed. Morning advanced theory proceeded. Caden 3 seats away. Not adjacent. Not distant. Distance chosen. She had mapped seat distance without looking directly, peripheral filing, same method she used for corridor watchers. Third seat left was his choice or accident. Accident was unlikely with Caden. Choice was data. She performed rank 3 clean skeleton. He performed forge notation standard. His forge strokes were cleaner than Tuesday. Cleaner was not complement. Cleaner was concentration displaced into work. Displacement was inventory grammar. Neither referenced Thursday. Reference would have been acknowledgement. Acknowledgement was his to defer, not hers to chase. At panel 9 he paused 1 stroke longer than grammar required. Pause was microdata. Microdata filed. Not interpreted beyond filing. Interpretation was premature. After dismissal, Caden remained seated 1 minute longer than required. She noted minute. Did not interpret minute beyond noting. Interpretation was premature. She left first. Leaving first was channel discipline. Channel discipline was not coldness. Coldness performed. Discipline inventoried. Head appeared in gallery again. Clipboard. Stillness. Triad observers again. Frequency upgrade. Nova filed head as sustained weather. Sustained weather required same response. Careful, failure modes, no acquisition routes. Head did not approach today. Non-approach was also data. Non-approach meant gallery observation sufficient for now. Sufficient was not safe. Sufficient was timeline reprieve measured in days, not weeks. Torrens Friday office hour held names consolidation review. Drawer open. 7 files. Not shown to her, memory review only. He said, Marit Thess replication failure linked to anchor cluster B authentication override. She said, confirmed. He said, Henra coil safety funding revocation linked to perimeter revision patch grammar. She said, confirmed. He said, Lauren Vay retirement gap linked to mentorship pipeline closure. She said, confirmed. He said, Pella Drast equipment failure linked to practice hall foundation panel. She said, confirmed. He said, Iron Hale mental fitness review linked to sever cluster citation suppression. She said, confirmed. He said, Sondmar credentials suspension linked to below threshold patch deployment. She said, confirmed. He said, Tomas Gray inverted plagiarism linked to archive routing alteration and restricted catalog acquisition metadata. She said, confirmed. 7 names. 1 pattern. Pattern name in head only. Silence predecessor behavior without silence name spoken in office. Torrens spoke each link aloud. She confirmed each. Confirmation was ritual. Ritual made memory load-bearing without paper. Paper was evidence. Evidence was vulnerability until witness protocol matured. He said, Pella Drast equipment failure, practice hall foundation panel node cluster. She said, confirmed. He said, panel was node 3 precursor grammar. She said, mapped as cluster not isolated incident. He said, Sondmar credential suspension, below threshold patch deployment. She said, patch was what administration wanted. He said, grammar hole persists. She said, confirmed. He said, consolidation complete. She said, witness protocol still insufficient for corridor travel. He said, agreed. He closed drawer. Drawer sound was boundary. Boundary held. He said, Caden. She said, upgrading not in. He said, timeline. She said, unknown. He said, do not confuse inventory silence with alliance offer. She said, I don't confuse easily. He said, you confuse when evidence is human. She looked at him. He was not criticizing. He was mentoring. Mentoring was data. She filed sentence. He said, Friday edition. She said, define. He said, network consolidation review. Not names. People. She said, list. He said, you. Me. Sierra partial witness and communications. Rian partial family channel, nodes still withheld. Friend documentation. Lisa indirect exercise only. Not Caden. Not Crane. Not Head. Not Edwick. Not Mara. Not Mavitt. She said, accurate. He said, accurate is not comfortable. She said, comfort was not criterion. He almost smiled. Almost was warmth in Torin register. Afternoon she mailed exercise 10. Middle ring postal. Cache. Density normalization preamble first. Ward pressure variance field second. Failure mode calibrated for re-engagement without re-traumatization pace. Receipt coded LX10. Lisa channel continued without name relay. Caden relay had carried exercise 7 fix. Exercise 10 went direct postal. Direct was small expansion. Expansion was calculated. Calculation was not trust. Calculation was operational kindness with bounded exposure. Evening she walked inscription garden wall where Sierra had brought tea Tuesday. Garden empty. Rain recent. Stones smelled clean. Wind moved inscription hedge leaves with sound like distant surf. She had not been to garden for pleasure in either lifetime. Garden was cover location. Cover location was still useful. She thought about Caden's shift, unprotected and rank 5 operative sent, I noticed was her grammar. His grammar had been you could have been killed, and then correction that he was not saying it as sentiment. Correction was his honesty attempting not to perform. Performance was what they both distrusted. Distrust shared was not alliance. Shared distrust was however foundation material. Foundation material was not structure. Structure required agreement. Agreement was future tense. She thought about column 6 again. Column 6 had upgraded from hostile observation to inventory silence. Inventory silence was not offer. Inventory silence was however door left unlatched. Unlatched door was not invitation. Unlatched door was also not locked. Locked was what they had been. She did not walk toward Night Scholar dormitory wing. Walking would have been initiation. Initiation was his channel to choose. She walked annex loop instead. Loop was habit. Habit was calibration. Vane message at dusk. More than pipeline update. Denial language released to provincial press as expected. Second enforcement team, not filed. Watcher frequency increased on academy perimeter. Watcher frequency was also data. Nova read message. Forwarded summary to Torin channel. Torin reply, consolidation on kingdom side continues 41 estimate holding, provincial nodes surfacing slow. Slow was not stopped. Stopped was future tense. At desk she wrote in the notebook, Friday operational calculus, visible target, more than repeat likely, institutional record filed, Caden inventory silence high weight, Caden not in network, Caden no longer cleanly outside. Reassess not action. Advanced theory. 3 seats distance, no Thursday reference. Head sustained weather continues. Torin names consolidation complete. 7 researchers linked anchor clusters authentication grammar sever suppression pattern. Witness protocol insufficient corridor. Caden Council. Do not confuse inventory silence with alliance. Evidence human confuses me filed. Exercise 10 mail direct postal. Ward pressure variance. Lisa channel continues bounded. Caden shift processed. Shared distrust foundation material not structure. Agreement future tense. Vina. More than denial released. No second team filed. Watcher frequency increased perimeter. Provincial nodes surfacing slow. Standing visible. Network unchanged. Channel upgrading noted. Work continues. She closed notebook. Week 14 closed with rain and whispers settling into sediment and observers finding rhythm. Rhythm was cover. Cover was not lie. Inside cover rank 5 public stood where rank 4 had stood. Inside cover operational map had first fully shared picture with Torin. Inside cover Caden had read what institution filed and inventory silence had shifted air 1 degree. 1 degree was not alliance. 1 degree was not nothing. 1 degree was door unlatched. She breathed with framework underneath. Not safe. Not alone in family line. Not finished. Continued into week 15 with visible rank and incomplete network and human evidence that refused clean filing. Refused clean filing was not problem. Refused clean filing was work. Week 16 opened with the kind of administrative weather that made the academy look stable from outside and feel like a building with its ear pressed to the floor from inside. Nova had returned from Manor Week carrying private rank 5 in her body like a second skeleton and public rank 5 in her standing record like a door she had finally chosen to open through crisis documentation rather than board theater. The documentation channel had been Torin's recommendation. Not because board theater was impossible. Because 2 rank 5 operatives using Academy-certified combat inscriptions against a duke's daughter in a provincial estate produced a paper trail that even more than's administrative office could not fully erase without admitting certification misuse. The Academy Security Office had logged the incident within 48 hours of her return. The log was careful. The log was also unmistakable. Unauthorized combat inscription deployment. Certification numbers traceable to Academy practical licensing records. Geographic marker, Vane Manor East Wing. Subject, Lady Novalis Vane, confirmed rank 5 upon review of incident residue analysis submitted through Scholar Torin's channel. Nova had spent Monday through Wednesday in the ordinary rhythm of a student who had just become interesting in a different register. Head's clipboard attention had gained a new adjective. Pren had stopped asking whether she was alright and started asking whether the residue analysis copies were complete. Sarah had appeared at Annex lunch once with the expression of someone who had been told partial truth and was deciding how much partial was allowed to mean. Torin had closed his door for 2 hours on her first day back and produced the fully shared operational picture they had been building toward for months. Anchor nodes, suppression network history, Kira Vane's proof, the list of confirmed names. And the enemies still unnamed in spoken language, but present in every line of Torin's map annotations. She had not told Caden any of it. She had told him rank 5. That was all the daylight visit after the security report had required, and all it had permitted. Thursday evening she was in her room reviewing standing calculus notes when the knock came. Not the operational knock from the Lisa night. Not the social knock students used when they wanted to borrow ink or complain about annex scheduling. A third knock. Measured. Night Scholar knock adapted for dormitory stone. She knew the rhythm before she opened the door. Caden stood in the corridor with a folded paper in one hand and the expression of someone who had decided that waiting until he was comfortable was a luxury the security report had revoked. He said, follow-up question on the incident log. Pretext. Both of them heard pretext in the word follow-up. She stepped back. He entered. She closed the door. Did not chain it. Chain on second midnight visit would have been insult where insult was not yet earned. First midnight visit had been Lisa and explain yourself. This was second midnight visit, and they both knew the genre without naming it. He set the folded paper on her desk. Not the official security report. A copy of the annex routing slip that had attached the report to Academy internal distribution. His handwriting annotated the margin. Certification numbers circled. More than courier cover notation from provincial filing cross-referenced. Timestamp showing report entered security office 19 hours before Nova's public rank 5 confirmation appeared on advancement registry. He said, they logged it before you confirmed. She said, they logged certification misuse. Confirmation was standing update, not revelation to them. He said, you knew they'd log it. She said, yes. He said, you didn't tell me before you left for Manor Week that more than had sent people. She said, I didn't know they would send rank 5 pairs until they arrived. Honest boundary. Not comforting. He looked at the routing slip. He said, the report says 2 operatives retreated after subject demonstrated counter-inscription at rank 5 speed. It does not say what you were protecting. She said, no. He said, it doesn't say East Wing. She said, it says Vane Manor. Geography is enough for people who already know what East Wing means. His jaw worked once. Forge habit. Pressure before decision. He said, my mother read a truncated version through order liaison channels. She asked if I knew whether the Vane heir had been injured. I said I didn't know. That was true when I said it. She said, and now? He said, now I know you weren't injured. Now I know you were rank 5 in the attack before you were rank 5 in the registry. Now I know the operatives used academy certifications and retreated rather than escalated, which means they were sent to retrieve or confirm, not to kill you in a way that would require burial paperwork. The analysis was cold. The analysis was also correct. Nova said, retrieval or confirmation is still rank 5 combat inscription in my family study. He said, I know. Beat. Corridor silent beyond door. Framework pulse through window low. He said, the Lisa channel. Second pretext inside first pretext. She did not pretend to misunderstand. He said, exercise 8 went out last month. She answered through the note I left under your door. You didn't ask how she was. She said, I asked through the exercise. He said, that's not the same. She said, I know. He said, she's doing better. Not fixed. Better. She used your 7th exercise fix to stabilize a conditional branch she'd been failing for 8 months. She didn't tell me it was yours. I inferred. Nova went still. Not surprise. Inventory update with emotional weight she filed in the place she filed things that might matter more than standing calculus. She said, Caden. He said, I'm not here to deliver praise. She said, I know. He said, I'm here because the security report and the Lisa channel are the same problem wearing different uniforms. She waited. He said, you do operational repair in every direction except the one where someone might have to stand beside you while the repair gets you killed. The sentence landed. Not accusation. Diagnosis. She said, standing beside me got 2 rank 5 mages sent to a duke's house. He said, standing beside you might have changed what happened in that study. She said, or gotten you flagged to Morthen's office before we were ready. He said, ready for what? Not question. Challenge. She did not answer. Could not answer without crossing the line the 3rd visit would require her to draw with conditions attached. He saw the non-answer. He said, that's what I thought. Not victory. Frustration filed clean. He picked up the routing slip, folded it, returned it to his coat. He said, I'm not going to report the packages. I'm not going to report your rank discrepancy. I'm not going to tell my mother anything beyond injured no, which is still true. She said, why? He said, because the report says academy certifications were used in unauthorized enforcement against a student-adjacent heir on family ground, and the order's liaison version is already being edited into incident near Vane County by people who don't want the certification numbers discussed in open committee. She said, Morthen. He said, Morthen's office or someone who answers to the same ledger. He moved to door. Paused. Not threshold pause from the first visit. Something more tired. He said, when you're ready to tell me what East Wing contains, don't make me come a 3rd time with a pretext I have to pretend to believe. She said, what if the 3rd time is the pretext? His mouth changed 1 degree. Not smile. Recognition of her grammar. He said, then I'll pretend better. He left. Boots on stairs controlled quiet. She stood at desk with routing slip gone and his annotation gone, and the room holding the shape of a conversation that had not alliance in it yet, but had direction. She wrote in the notebook, 2nd midnight visit. Caden. Security report follow-up pretext, certification numbers, logging before public rank 5 confirmation, order liaison truncation, retrieval not kill analysis correct. Lisa channel second pretext, exercise 8, 7th fix inference, conditional branch stabilized 8 months, better not fixed. Diagnosis, operational repair in every direction except standing beside. Non-answer on ready for what. He will not report packages or rank discrepancy. Warned third visit coming. I said third might be pretext. He said he'll pretend better. Air between us shifted again. Not alliance. Not distance. Corridor narrowing toward door I have not opened. Tauren map still sealed from him. Father sealed. Proof sealed. Node sealed. 1 week maybe less until pretext stops working. She did not sleep for 1 hour. Then slept. Friday annex ordinary. Caden at adjacent corral. Not watching from across tower. Adjacent. Close enough that when she dropped stylus, he picked it up without comment and returned it with the grip corrected for her current fatigue angle. Small thing. Operational small thing. She filed it. Week 16 continued with heads clipboard and Pren's failure mode logs and the framework breathing underneath like a patient animal that had smelled blood on a county road and had not yet decided whether the blood belonged to prey or rival. Saturday, she mailed exercise 9. Not to Lisa directly. Through Western Office postmark circuit Caden had traced and not reported. Sunday Tauren said, your night scholar is circling. Nova said, I know. Tauren said, not enemy. She said, I know. Tauren said, not ally. She said, I know. Tauren looked at her over teacup. He said, the door you're not opening has a person on the other side who reads forged metal and understands enforcement geometry. She said, I know. He did not tell her to open it. He said, when you open it completely or not at all. Partial trust with that one is worse than none. She carried that sentence into week 17 like a weight she had chosen to pick up. Monday night she dreamed about East Wing Blaze and woke with ink taste in mouth and wrote nothing down because dreams were not evidence. Tuesday Caden passed her in corridor and said, still not injured. She said, still not. He kept walking. Wednesday the Academy Bulletin posted a formal notice about certification audit procedures, prompted by unnamed provincial incident. Nova read it in annex. Caden read it 2 feet away. Neither commented. Both filed. Thursday at midnight she expected knock. Knock did not come. She lay awake anyway. Friday knock did not come. She told herself patience was operational virtue. Patience felt like management. Management was what the firewall phase was supposed to end. She did not know the arc name. She knew the feeling. The feeling was firewall pressure on every channel at once and her still choosing which fires to acknowledge before inviting someone into the room where the proof breathed. Second midnight visit closed nothing. Second midnight visit opened the hinge. Third visit would be the door or the lock. She worked Tauren's map in library corral with Cipher fold on knee and public face of rank 5 student doing advanced historical equivalency review. Anchor node count at 41 confirmed. Estimated 147 total. Silence protocol theoretical framework reconstructed, but activation timeline still unknown. Caden's forge analysis could read metal components in nodes if she ever showed him the map. She had not shown him the map. She had shown him nothing except rank 5 confirmation and the fact that she was still alive after more than sent people. That was not enough for alliance. That was enough for him to come back. She expected him back. Expectation was new variable. New variables required notebook entries and caution and the particular discipline of not mistaking anticipation for trust. Week 16 ended with Rain on annex windows and scholarship floor quiet, and Nova at desk copying node notation with hand that new rank 5 speed now in muscle memory and mind that new rank 5 speed was not the same as rank 5 standing in a war against an organization that had edited her mother's submission out of existence. Caden had traced her packages. Caden had read the security report. Caden had inferred Lisa's progress. Caden had told her he would pretend better on the third pretext. She would let him pretend. She would open the door when opening was operational necessity and not emotional convenience. Opening was approaching. She could feel it the way she felt fault lines and inscription arrays before she wrote counter triggers. Fault line was not collapse. Fault line was where the structure would move if pressure continued. Pressure was continuing. More than had sent rank 5 mages. The Academy had logged certification misuse. Crane had not appeared. Crane not appearing was its own message. She closed notebook. Slept. Week 17 waited with a third knock somewhere in it, and she did not know which night would be the night pretext stopped being enough for either of them. Week 17 began with certification audit notices posted on every practical instruction door and the particular quiet of students who had read the notices and decided not to speculate aloud where clipboard-bearing instructors could file. Speculation as data. Nova speculated in Cipher. Not aloud. Tuesday, Torin moved their standing meeting from office to library archive annex because office walls had developed the acoustic property of reporting upward when certain nouns were spoken. They reviewed Node 41 through 44. Western Dormitory Foundation Stone. Eastern Lecture Hall Sub-Basement Access Panel. Chapel Annex Maintenance Corridor. Pren's discovery from failure mode logging, not guesswork. Northern Gate Inscription Pillar with metal sleeve. Torin could not parse without forge grammar. Torin said, if your night scholar reads metal, Northern Gate becomes faster. She said, I know. Torin said, you're waiting. She said, I'm choosing channel. Torin said, channels have costs. She said, I know. He did not push further. Pushing was not his grammar. Planting was. He planted and waited for soil. Wednesday, Caden was not at adjacent corral. Thursday, he was. Friday, he was not. Saturday, Annex Examination Review for Year 3 Cohort. Nova performed rank 5 clean demonstration for Proctor panel because public standing required maintenance now that standing had been purchased with crisis rather than board theater. Proctors wrote. Head wrote more. Caden stood in gallery rail shadow like structural support that had not been asked for and would not leave. After review, he walked her to dormitory stair without speaking. At 7th floor landing, he said, Sunday. Not question. Schedule. She said, Sunday. He nodded once. Continued down. She filed Sunday. Sunday came with the kind of stillness scholarship floor produced when half the cohort was at home visits and the other half was pretending home visits were not relief from tower pressure. Nova spent afternoon in library. Returned after supper. Read standing calculus until lamplight made Cipher pages swim. Put lamp low. Lay on bed with notebook on chest and told herself sleep was operational requirement. Sleep did not arrive. Framework pulse through window steady. Midnight passed without knock. 12:30. 12:40. 1. She was awake when knock came. Operational knock. Third rhythm. She knew before she opened door. Caden stood in corridor without folded paper this time. Without pretext in his hand. Pretext was in his face anyway because both of them had agreed pretext was genre and genre did not stop applying just because the visit number had increment. He said, may I come in? Not explain yourself. Not follow-up question on incident log. May I come in? She stepped back. He entered. She closed door. Chained it. Bolted it. First time she had chained on his entry since the Lisa night. That night's chain had been defense. Tonight chain was boundary drawn before content. He noticed. Did not comment. Stood by desk while she stood by bed. Between them, months of Corel adjacency and garden confrontations and Lisa packages and security reports and the shift in air that the daylight visit had produced without alliance attached. He said, I want to help. She said, help with what? He said, whatever you're doing that's making more than send mages to Vane Manor. She looked at him for a long time. Long look was not performance. Long look was standing calculus done in body language because words ahead would change what room could hold. She said, if I tell you, you can't tell anyone, not the order, not your mother, not anyone who might report upward before we're ready. He said, I understand what an operational secret is. She said, no. You understand military operational secrets. This is different. The people at the top are not safe. He said, then tell me who is. She said, me. Torin. Sarah, partially. My father. You, if you're in. He said, I'm in. Not warm moment. Precise agreement between people not sure they trusted each other and proceeding anyway. Room held the sentence like metal holding forge inscription, no flourish, load-bearing, meant to last through pressure. She did not offer hand. He did not offer oath. Alliance was not ceremony in their grammar. Alliance was channel opened with conditions attached. She said, sit. He sat in desk chair. She sat on bed edge with notebook in lap. Open cipher fold. Not full map. First layer. She said, vaulted circle. Internal name. 7 confirmed members at top. More operatives below. They built anchor nodes into foundational inscription across kingdom infrastructure. Purpose is loading something called Silence Protocol, not spoken name in their records I've seen, but Torrens reconstruction from Mother's proof and restricted section texts. Caden's face did not change dramatically. Forged training. Absorb shock as structural data. He said silence. She said, working name. Affect hypothesis, redirect or remove inscription ability from anyone outside approved framework. Mother's proof demonstrates approved framework sealing is artificial. They suppressed her submission. They killed her. She did not say crane. Not yet. Not in first layer. He said carriage. She said, father knows 6 years. Inscription stress on axle. No court proof. Pattern. His hands on desk went still. He said, more than sent operatives to East Wing because you found proof. She said, because they believed I found proof or was close enough to confirm vault. Retrieval or confirmation. Not assassination requiring burial paperwork. Your analysis from last week was correct. He said, East Wing. She said, Mother's desk vault. 47 pages. Copy at Academy in fold. Original at Manor. 6 times efficiency demonstration. Artificial sealing proof. He exhaled once. Controlled. He said, how many nodes? She said, 41 confirmed. Estimated 147 total. She turned fold to partial map. Not all annotations. Not silence fault space. Not 0-day vocabulary. Node locations with Torrens verification marks and her cipher compression keys. He studied map with forge reader's eyes, not just locations, metal components where marked, structural dependencies where Torren had noted foundation coupling. He said, northern gate metal sleeve. She said yes. He said, I can read that. She said, I know. That's why you're in. Not compliment. Allocation. He said, Sarah partially. She said, witness role. Communications. Not full map. Not proof. Enough to move messages without painting target on house loon before we choose timing. He said, your father. She said, partial vaulted circle. Not nodes. Not crane identity. Silence on crane holds. Caden's jaw tightened at crane name without title. Godfather. Archivist. Warm door language. He said, crane. She said, not tonight. Boundary. He accepted boundary because Iman had conditions on her side too. He said, what do you need from me first? Operational question. Correct question. She said, northern gate sleeve. Tomorrow if you can get access without order flag. Read metal inscription. Tell me forge grammar on load-bearing component. Torren can read logic. I can read fault space. Metal is your channel. He said, access without flag. She said, you're Night Scholar on Certification Audit Committee Student Liaison because of Manor Incident Report. Audit gives you legitimate reason to inspect gate pillar certification plate. His mouth changed 1 degree. Not smile. Recognition of her having already mapped his access paths. He said, you planned this. She said, I planned that someone who reads metal would be useful. I didn't plan you. I chose you. Beat. Choose was harder word than useful. Room acknowledged choose without commenting. He said, tomorrow. She said, tomorrow. He said, what aren't you telling me? She said, crane identity. Full activation timeline. Full fault space map. 0-day methodology name. How high I need to be before we can trigger dismantling. He said, how high? She said, 7 at minimum. Probably 8. He looked at her. Rank 5 public. Rank 5 private achieved in crisis. Gap between 5 and 7 visible in math he could do. He said, timeline. She said, unknown. That's the war. He stood. Not leaving in anger. leaving because room was full and more words would dilute load-bearing sentences. He said, I'm in means I don't report upward. It doesn't mean I agree with everything you decide. She said, good. He said, it doesn't mean I won't tell you when you're wrong. She said, good. He said, Lisa. She said, still anonymous. Still separate channel. You don't merge them without asking her. He said, I won't. Pause at door. He said, third pretext. She said, no pretext. He said, good. He left. Boots on stairs. Scholarship floor absorbed him. She sat on bed with partial map on knee and alliance in room like new inscription layer settling into stone. Not warm. Precise. Load-bearing. She wrote in the notebook, third midnight visit. No pretext. Dialogue exact. I want to help with what whatever you're doing that's making more than send mages to Vane Manor long look operational secret conditions. Order mother anyone reporting upward military secrets versus this people at top not safe who is safe me Torin Sira partially father you if in I'm in. Not warm. Precise. Alliance opened. First layer shared. Suppression network. Anchor nodes 41 of EST 147. The enemy as working name. Mother proof summary. East wing vault. More than retrieval analysis confirmed. Partial map shown. Crane name boundary tonight. Rank 7 to 8 needs stated. Northern Gate Forge read tomorrow via audit liaison access. He will tell me when I'm wrong. Lisa channel separate. Alliance is channel not ceremony. She slept 2 hours. Dreamed Northern Gate metal sleeve glowing with grammar she could not read without him. Woke to Monday with Alliance active and firewall pressure unchanged and work that had been hers alone now distributed across first additional pair of hands that understood enforcement geometry. Morning annex. Caden at adjacent corral. Not shadow in gallery. Adjacent. He set stylus correction on her desk without comment. She set Northern Gate access request on his without comment. Torin passed corridor window. Saw them. Did not enter. Filed. Afternoon certification audit liaison roster posted. Caden Ashvale, student representative. Nova read roster in annex. Looked at Caden. He said, tomorrow. She said, tomorrow. Alliance did not feel like relief. Alliance felt like weight distributed onto structure that had been carrying load alone too long and now had to test whether joints held. Joints would be tested. More than had sent rank 5 mages. Crane had not appeared. Academy had opened certification audit. Firewall pressure had begun in everything but name. She had stopped managing the crisis in the sense of holding it entirely inside her own ribcage. She had not stopped choosing. Choosing was different. Choosing was what Monday morning felt like with partial map shared and Northern Gate appointment on slate and Caden reading metal tomorrow because he had said I'm in and meant it precisely. Week 17 continued with the third knock answered and the door open and the war still ahead, but no longer exclusively hers to carry in silence. Monday Northern Gate smelled like cold stone and iron certification plates and the particular ozone of public inscription pillars that had been absorbing foot traffic and weather and mana bleed for 60 years without anyone asking what the pillar was actually doing beneath the plate. Caden had audit liaison access. Nova had historical equivalency review cover for being within 20 feet of gate foundation during practical observation hour. Cover was thin. Thin was sufficient when 2 people coordinated thin covers into one legitimate surface. He knelt at metal sleeve. She stood 3 feet away with clipboard and performed student observing certification compliance for Proctor, who was not watching closely because Proctor was eating lunch early and trusting Night Scholar liaison to do liaison work. Caden's fingers traced sleeve seam without touching inscription active zone. Forge reader habit. Read at edge first. He said, low, tri-layer forge bond. Outer plate academy certification. Middle sleeve load distribution. Inner core something older. She said, older than academy. He said, older than pillar replacement date on public maintenance log. She wrote on clipboard in Cipher shorthand that looked like compliance notes. He said, inner core has null anchor signature. She said, define null anchor. He said, forge grammar for inscription that doesn't announce itself to standard detection arrays. Military garrison work. Also, pause. He said, also archival foundation work. I've seen similar grammar on restricted archive reinforcement in order training examples. Examples they said were historical. She said node. He said node. One word confirmation. Load bearing. He continued reading. 10 minutes. 15. Students passed. No one stopped. He said, load path connects to substructure beam running under gate road towards central tower foundation. She said, direction. He said, east-southeast. Toward lecture annex basement panel we marked tentative. Connection. Map gained edge. Not just dot. Dot with line. She filed line. He said, metal component is not academy maintenance. Inserted during pillar refurbishment 12 years ago per sleeve wear pattern. Refurbishment predates current academy administration record by 2 years. She said, vaulted circle timeline fits. He said yes. He stood. Brushed dust from knee. Face ordinary. Body ordinary. Operational ordinary. He said, I need second sight to confirm beam path. Chapel annex corridor. Maintenance access. She said, tonight. He said, tonight. Alliance Day 1 was metal and direction and grammar she could not have extracted without him. Afternoon they did not sit together at annex. Sitting together immediately after gate red would have been social signal. Signal was data. They exchanged Cipher slip through Pren's failure mode Dropbox because Pren's Dropbox had become unofficial neutral postal zone through habit no one had formalized. Slip contained beam path notation and her fault space question about whether null anchor could be triggered without full rank 7 output. He wrote back, not with your current layer. Need supplement or time. Supplement or time. Forge stylus supplementation was not yet in timeline. Time was what they had until they didn't. Evening library. Partial map on table between them with Torin present because partial had become shared and shared required mentor channel for standing protection. Torin looked at Northern Gate annotation. Looked at Caden. Looked at Nova. He said, forge path confirmed. Caden said, yes. Torin said, chapel annex tonight. Caden said, yes. Torin said, not both of you. Visibility. Nova said, Caden goes. I remote via Pren relay. Torin said, Pren knows. She said, Pren knows Dropbox. Pren doesn't know map. Torin said, upgrade Pren or don't use Pren. Standing calculus in 3 sentences. She said, upgrade Pren. Torin said, tomorrow. Tonight would be Caden and Chapel Annex alone. Nova did not like alone split. She accepted split because visibility math was correct. Night, Caden in maintenance corridor. Nova in library corral with relay stone Pren operated from annex closet without knowing full map. Only coordinate relay and Cipher burst receive. Relay worked. Chapel Annex panel confirmed. Beam path from Northern Gate connected through Annex substructure to Lecture Hall basement, tentative mark. Node 42 upgraded from tentative to confirmed. Node 43 gained probable edge. Map partial shared with Caden now included 43 confirmed locations and 12 probable with forge metal annotations on 9. Not 147. Not silence fault space. Not proof pages. Enough for him to read structural war instead of personal crisis. He returned to library at midnight. Set forge notation copy on table. She integrated. Hands worked together on same paper for first time, not touch, not ceremony, parallel annotation convergence. He said, more than territory nodes will be metal heavy. She said, southern cluster densest. We don't have access. He said, I have leave schedule in summer. She said, summer may be late. He said, then we find earlier channel. Operational. No panic. No romance. Tuesday Pren upgrade conversation lasted 4 minutes in annex. Pren said, I want to know what I'm relaying. Nova said, coordinates and burst fragments. Not full map. Pren said, that's partial knowing. She said yes. Pren said, okay. Pren was 18 and had been logging failure modes for 2 years and had decided partial knowing was better than ignorant relay because ignorant relay got people killed in inscription war same as ignorant relay got people killed in combat war. Upgrade accepted. Wednesday Sierra appeared at lunch with message envelope no seal. Internal loon routing. Sierra said, Housemore and Administrative Office requested guest registry cross-reference on Academy advancement filings for rank 5 confirmations in last quarter. Nova said, when? Sierra said, yesterday. Nova said, response. Sierra said, delayed through Loon clerk courtesy. Buys 3 days. Partial ally delivering partial intelligence. Alliance network 1 day old and already flexing. Nova said, thank you. Sierra said, I don't know what I'm thanking me for yet. Nova said, that's correct. Sierra left. Caden at end of table had heard. Did not comment. Filed. Thursday anchor node 44 confirmed, Western Dormitory foundation stone with metal pin Caden read in rain under maintenance, cover, while Nova performed dormitory ward review for head's audit checklist. Head walked past. Did not stop. Clipboard absorbed data. Friday Torin closed office door again. 3 of them. Map on wall now physical version, not fold only. Red marks confirmed. Blue probable. Gold forge metal annotations. Torin said, 44 confirmed in 3 weeks if pace holds. Nova said, pace draws attention. Torin said, attention already drawn. Caden said, certification audit gives cover for 6 more gate and pillar reads before committee closes liaison window. Torin looked at him. Assessing. He said, you're useful. Caden said, I know. Not arrogant. Fact. Torin said, Nova. She said, I know. Useful was not trust. Useful was alliance grammar. Week 18 opened with map edges growing and relay stones humming, and Northern Gate sleeve grammar filed in forge notation Caden had translated into Cipher-compatible structural shorthand. Saturday Nova worked alone in Corel because Alliance also required solo maintenance, standing calculus review, proof copy integrity check, notebook compression. She wrote in the notebook, Post-Alliance Operational Week. Northern Gate Trilayer Sleeve Read Null Anchor, Military Archive Grammar, inserted 12 years ago predating admin log. Beam path east-southeast to Chapel Annex confirmed via Caden Night Read and Pren Relay. Nodes 42 to 44 upgraded. Map partial shared. 44 confirmed, 12 probable, 9 forge metal. Pren upgraded partial relay. Sierra bought 3 days on more than registry cross-reference. Head clipboard ongoing. Certification audit cover 6 reads remaining. Torin wall map physical now. Caden useful, his word, Torin's word. Not warm. Work. Alliance distributes load. Rank 7 to 8 gap visible daily. Continue expansion. Sunday Caden met her at Annex Stair. Not midnight. Afternoon. He said, second site read list. He had list. She had list. Lists overlapped. They worked overlap. Alliance Week 2 would be Chapel Annex follow-through and Eastern Lecture Hall basement access request, and the ordinary terrifying rhythm of people mapping infrastructure and organization had hidden in plain sight for decades. Firewall pressure continued, certification audit, head adjectives, more than registry, inquiry delayed not gone. Alliance did not stop firewall. Alliance made firewall survivable. Nova went to supper. Caden went to order drill. Tower continued. Framework breathed underneath. 44 nodes confirmed. 103 still unknown. Enemy timeline still unknown. Crane still absent in person. Absent was pressure too. She carried pressure differently now. Not alone in ribcage. Distributed across Torin wall map and Caden forge reads and Sierra 3-day delay and Pren relay coordinates. Distributed was not safe. Distributed was stronger. Week 18 waited with Eastern Lecture Hall basement on slate and the next 6 gate reads under audit cover and the war's map growing 1 confirmed node at a time because that was how you fought infrastructure, not in single blaze like East Wing, but in cumulative grammar extracted from metal sleeves and foundation stones until the network had nowhere left to hide. Week 21 arrived the way year 3 always arrived at its midpoint. With administrators pretending the year was one continuous institution and students knowing it was seasons stitched together by examinations and home visits, and the weather changing on annex windows while the same tower held them. Nova had stopped pretending the year was peaceful. Peaceful was cover. Cover was not lie. Work was real. Firewall pressure was real. The difference between managing and fighting was not volume of work. The difference was what she did with fear when fear arrived. Managing fear meant routing it into delay, into solo channels, into one more week before opening the door. Fighting fear meant opening the door and accepting that the person who walked through might report upward or might read metal wrong or might tell her she was wrong when she was wrong. She had opened the door on the Alliance night. Weeks since had been fighting in the operational sense. Northern Gate, Chapel Annex, Eastern Basement, certification audit reads, more than registry inquiry renewed after Sierra's 3-day courtesy expired, head's clipboard gaining the adjective methodical. Fighting did not feel heroic. Fighting felt like Tuesday. Tuesday, she woke to bulletin notice that Practical Instruction Block 3 would undergo foundational compliance review because unnamed provincial incident had triggered academy-wide certification audit expansion. Expansion meant more liaison access. Expansion also meant more eyes. Caden read 2 pillars sleeves before lunch. Nova mapped fault space overlap for Western dormitory pin before dinner. Torrens submitted historical equivalency paperwork that was not paperwork, but cover for node verification requests on buildings older than Academy charter. Pren relayed burst fragments from maintenance corridor without asking questions he had promised not to ask yet. Sierra delayed second more than registry request through different clerk. Rian sent letter with no vaulted circle nouns and 1 sentence. Surface normal holds at Manor. Surface normal. Not lie. Cover. Nova wrote back, surface normal holds at Academy. Both truths. Both incomplete. Wednesday she caught herself composing a solo plan for lecture hall basement access and stopped mid-sentence because solo plan was management habit and management habit was what this arc's emotional core had promised she would outgrow. Outgrow was not delete. Outgrow was recognize and choose differently. She showed draft plan to Caden at Corel. He crossed out her entry window. Wrote alternate window with order drill overlap that gave him legitimate corridor presence. She accepted crossover without defending original. Defending original would have been ego. Ego got people killed in inscription war. He said, you were going alone. She said, I was managing. He said, don't. One word. Same grammar as Torrens' caution. Different source. She filed different source. Thursday in Torrens' office with rain on window and map on wall at 51 confirmed nodes, pace had held, attention had increased, they had not stopped. Torrens said, you're different. Nova said, different how? He said, you brought him the basement plan before executing. She said, yes. He said, year 1 you would have executed and told me after. She said, year 1 I was performing good behavior. He said, year 3 you're fighting. She said, year 3 I'm trying. Trying was honest. Fighting was aspiration. Gap between trying and fighting was where she lived now. Torren poured tea. First time in weeks. Pouring meant mentorship reasserting itself over standing calculus. He said, the emotional core of this arc is not rank. She said, I know. He said, it's whether you keep holding the war in your throat when holding it is no longer operationally necessary. She looked at map. 51 red marks. 96 still unknown. Silence timeline still unknown. Cranes still absent. More than registry inquiries continuing. Holding war in throat had kept Rian safe from Crane briefing. Holding war in throat had kept Caden at distance until distance became liability. Holding war in throat had kept Lisa channel clean. Some throat holding still necessary. Not all. She said, I'm learning the difference. Torren said, good. Learning fast enough matters. Friday had requested formal interview about her historical equivalency research scope. Interview scheduled 10 days out. Stall window. Stall was fighting too. Fighting bureaucratic war used different muscles than fighting rank 5 operatives in East Wing. East Wing had been 6 minutes of blaze. Bureaucratic war was week 21 and week 22 and week 23 with clipboard and committee and registry cross-reference and the slow grinding attention of institutions that had decided she was problem without yet deciding how to remove her. Saturday Caden's mother Commander Sela Ashvile's name appeared on Academy guest roster for Night Scholar review fortnight ahead. Nova read roster in Annex. Caden read it beside her. He said, she won't know. She said, know what? He said, map. Proof. Silence. Any of it. She said, good. He said, she'll know something. She said, that's different. Commander Sela Ashvale reading something without words was Lisa Channel grammar. Nova did not say that. Filed for future. Sunday an inscription garden at dusk, because garden was where year 3 rhythm pretended to be pastoral and pastoral pretense was useful for conversations that could not happen in annex acoustics. Caden sat on wall. She sat on wall. Not romantic placement. Tactical placement. Sight lines to 3 doors, no clipboard instructor in range. He said, you're not managing me anymore. She said, I'm trying not to. He said, you sent exercise 10 without asking if I thought you should. She said, Lisa Channel is separate. He said, I know. You still told me it went out. She said, that's different. He said, that's fighting. Beat. Garden lamp low. Students distant. He said, I'm not your enemy. Old sentence from year 2. New weight under firewall pressure. She said, I know. He said, I'm not your shield either. She said, I know. He said, I'm your. Stopped. Would not say partner. Would not say ally. Would not say thing that sounded like romance or oath. She said, operational pair. He said, yes. Word settled. Operational pair was not warm. Operational pair was precise. Week 22 opened with lecture hall basement confirmed as Node 52 and administrative compliance review scheduled and more than registry inquiry answered minimally through Academy Advancement Office with language that confirmed rank 5 and revealed nothing about East Wing. Minimal was fighting. Minimal was also what institutions did when they had been forced to acknowledge fire without wanting to discuss fuel. Tuesday Nova almost lied to Caden about headache to skip basement relay. Lie would have been management. She said, headache. Still coming. Relay anyway. He said, okay. No praise for honesty. No punishment for headache. Operational pair. Wednesday she told Torin she was afraid Crane would visit before they reached 70 nodes. Telling Fear aloud was fighting. Torin said, fear is data. She said, I know. He said, what's the action? Action from Fear was fighting. Management from Fear was freeze. She said, accelerate audit reads. Push Syrah on provincial filing delays. Ask father about manor ward changes. Torin said, Crane name. She said, not yet. Still boundary. Boundary was not throat-holding everything. Boundary was throat-holding specific load-bearing walls. Thursday Pren said, something feels watched. Nova said, where? Pren said, annex closet relay. Not always. Intermittent. Intermittent watching was worse than constant. Constant you could plan around. Intermittent meant someone skilled. She told Caden. Told Torin. Moved relay to library sub-alcove with different stone. Fighting was adaptation without drama. Friday she stood in gallery during second-year practical and watched students fail conditional branches with the ordinary pain of learning, and thought about the enemy redirecting ability, and thought about fighting for them without them knowing. And thought about old Nova who would have seen crowd as asset pool not people. Person she was now filed crowd as reason. Reason was emotional core without performance. Not heroine speech. Not garden confession. Just reason sitting in chest next to standing calculus. Saturday letter from Theo with no operational content and one line. Examination placement first tier again. She smiled 1 degree. Filed brother separately from war. Brother was reason 2. Different channel. Sunday week 22 closed with 53 nodes confirmed and compliance review 10 days out and Sela Ashvale review fortnight out and Nova in library at midnight with Caden annotating metal sleeve from Southgate Reed and neither of them pretending the work was temporary. Temporary was management fiction. This was term length. Year length. War length. She said, without looking up, I stopped managing the crisis. He said, and started fighting it. She said, and started fighting it. Not triumph. Statement of fact. He said, good. She said, don't say good like you're proud of me. He said, I'm not proud. I'm relieved. Relief was harder admission than pride. She filed relief. She wrote in the notebook, year 3 midpoint rhythm. Firewall pressure sustained, audit expansion, head interview scheduled, more than registry minimal answer, compliance review pending. Nodes 53 confirmed. Relay moved from annex closet after Pren intermittent watch report. Emotional core shift. Stopped managing, started fighting, brought Caden basement plan before execute, told Torin fear with action items, told Caden exercise 10 cent, operational pair named in garden. Not warm. Precise. Sela Ashvale review on roster Fortnite out foreshadow. Crane absent still pressure. Fighting is Tuesday not Blaze. She closed notebook. Caden closed forge notation. They left library separately. Tower slept. Framework breathed. Year 3 rhythm continued with cover on surface and war underneath, and the difference between managing and fighting now a line she could feel when she crossed it. Crossing it daily. That was the work. Not single east wing blaze. Daily choosing distributed load over solo throat. Daily choosing operational pair over operational isolation. Daily choosing fighting over managing until fighting became habit the same way managing had been habit once. Habit was not resolution. Habit was how you survived long enough to reach resolution. Resolution was not this week. This week was 53 nodes and compliance review approaching and the emotional core settling into place like inscription layer finding stone. Week 23 waited with interview questions and guest reviews, and the next gate read under audit cover, and the war that was no longer only hers to carry because she had finally stopped insisting it had to be. Week 24 brought the first cold snap of late autumn, and with it correspondence from Wielding's administrative quarter that had more than's office seal on the outside and Academy Chancellor's office seal on the inside. 2 seals meaning 2 institutions had agreed to bother her in coordinated language. Nova read the letter in Torin's archive annex with Caden standing by window pretending to study certification manual and actually watching door. Letter requested Lady Novalis Vane's presence at supplemental compliance interview regarding historical equivalency research scope and provincial incident cross-reference. Requested. Not summoned. Language softer than content. Content was more than reaching through Academy channels because direct reach had failed when operatives retreated from East Wing. Torin said, "They want you in a room with witnesses." Nova said, "I know." Caden said, "Don't go alone." She said, "I won't." Operational pair grammar applied to bureaucracy. Monday interview prep lasted 3 hours. Torin on historical equivalency cover story. Sarah on registry language more than had used twice. Caden on order liaison paths that might produce observers in room not on roster. Nova on what not to say, proof, nodes, silence, crane, east wing vault, 0-day vocabulary, rank path above public 5. What to say, academic interest in pre-suppression notation, compliance cooperation, provincial incident regret that academy certifications were misused, willingness to assist audit, regret without confession, cooperation without submission, fighting bureaucratic war with soft words sharpened underneath. Tuesday supplemental interview occurred in Chancellor's side room with head present as curriculum representative and more than administrative proxy, not Davin, subordinate with smile to professional and Academy legal clerk taking notes. Nova wore air courtesy and student deference in correct ratio. Answered questions for 40 minutes. Did not blink when proxy asked whether East Wing study contained materials of interest to unauthorized parties. She said, "Family study contains my mother's research archives. I was reviewing historical notation. I cannot speak to motivations of unauthorized parties." True. Incomplete. Incomplete was fighting. Proxy smiled. Head wrote. Clerk wrote. Interview ended without decision. Decision would come later. Later was more than / crane pressure grammar, not single blow, sustained compression. Wednesday Archivist Secondary Len Crane's name appeared on Academy guest schedule for inscription curriculum advisory session. Not Grand Archivist. Secondary. Still Crane surname on building air. Nova read schedule in annex. Hand study. Chest pressure filed as data, not panic. Torin said, "That Han won't come first." She said, "I know." Torin said, "Len is probe." She said, "I know." Caden said, "What's Len's channel?" Torin said, "Bureaucratic. Compliance. Precedent weapons." Same summary as the compliance weapon arc, still ahead. Nova said, "Stall." Torin said, "Stall what?" She said, "Everything that can be stalled." Interview outcomes. Advisory session attendance. Registry follow-ups. Fighting compression was delay architecture. Delay architecture was not cowardice when used to buy node count. Thursday, Len Crane walked Academy Central Hall with Chancellor escort and smiled at students with warmth that made Nova's skin recognize grammar from Godfather visits without Vethan in body. Len did not approach her. Approach would have been too direct for probe. Len looked away. Filed. Nova filed filing. Friday, Rian's letter arrived through secure Manor channel. 2 sentences operational. Ward on East Wing outer corridor upgraded, without announcing upgrade. Province notice filed about conservatory repair scheduling that would increase legitimate traffic near Manor, without opening East Wing. Father fighting compression on home front without being told full map. Partial ally. Partial channel. Nova wrote back, compliance interview complete. Advisory Crane family name on schedule. Surface normal. Surface normal. Cover. Not lie. Saturday node 58 confirmed. South Chapel Foundation with metal grammar Caden read in dawn maintenance window. 58 of estimated 147. Pace visible. Visibility visible. More than registry sent third inquiry. Sarah delayed again. Delay math shrinking. Sunday Commander Sela Ashvale arrived for night scholar review. Academy grounds dressed for inspection, uniform sharper, corridors cleaner, the performance of institutional excellence laid over tower that was also mapping itself for war. Nova saw Sela from annex window. Distance. Recognition. Mother of boy who said I'm in. Mother of girl receiving anonymous exercises. Mother who read truncated order liaison reports about Vane County incidents. Pressure layered. Caden said, she'll ask about you. Nova said, how? He said, not directly. Observation. She said, Lisa. He went still. She said, you told me she infers without words. He said, yes. She said, then she already is shape. Shape without map was still danger. Danger managed was not danger eliminated. Monday night scholar review assembly. Nova in gallery as rank 5 student representative for historical equivalency cohort presentation, cover role that put her in room with Sela without putting her in conversation. Sela sat with Academy Marshall Review Board. Posture order grammar. Eyes Academy grammar. She watched Caden drill demonstration. Watched scholarship cohort compliance. Watched Nova present 3-minute notation equivalence summary with clean rank 5 demonstration stroke at end. Watched without staring. Watching without staring was commander skill. Nova finished presentation. Step down. Corridor after. Sela passing within 6 feet. No stop. No speak. Eyes met 1 second. 1 second enough. Sela had file on her. File incomplete. File growing. Tuesday afternoon Academy Review Liaison delivered a note without envelope seal. Not request for interview. Schedule adjustment notice. Commander Ashvale wished to observe historical equivalency cohort office hour after assembly. Wish expressed as courtesy. Courtesy was probe grammar. Nova attended office hour. Torin present in official mentor capacity. Caden in corridor outside pretending to read certification manual. Sela entered office hour room with 2 review board members and listened to 3 students' present notation equivalence problems. Nova presented 4th. Clean stroke. Rank 5 demonstration held to scope. Sela watched presentation. Watched Torin's supervision. Watched Nova's hands. Did not ask about Lisa. Did not ask about packages. Did not ask about Vane County incident. Questions withheld were louder than questions asked. Office hour ended. Corridor outside. Sela passing within 4 feet. Stopped. Not full stop. Half stop. She said, my son tells me things without using words. Nova said nothing. Sela said, so does my daughter. 2 sentences. No exercise number. No rank. No confirmation of anonymous channel. Only shape. Shape of mother who had inferred repair and was deciding when to speak repair aloud. Sela continued walking. Review board members beside her. Caden still in corridor. His face controlled. Nova said, lo, she knows. Caden said, she knows enough to wait. Wait was foreshadow. Full conversation not yet. Mother file growing. Lisa news still unspoken in words that would matter. Nova filed wait. Wednesday Len Crane advisory session. Nova attended as historical equivalency student delegate. Len asked 3 questions about Cipher notation compliance. Questions soft. Edges sharp. She answered with torn reviewed language. Len smiled. Thanked her. Moved on. Probe complete for day. Thursday, Grand Archivist Vane Crane sent letter to Rian. Vane expressed concern for Nova's welfare after provincial incident and offered personal tea at archive when manor travel permitted. Letter copied to Academy Chancellor. Copy reached Torin through Scholar Channel. Torin gave copy to Nova in sealed sleeve. Nova read in Corel alone first. Then showed Caden. Crane pressure. Not physical. Institutional warmth weaponized. Offer tea. Express concern. Create record of Godfather care. She said, he's circling Manor. Caden said, he's circling you. She said, yes. He said, do you go to tea? She said, not yet. He said, when? She said, when going is fighting move not management deferral. He accepted. Friday node 60 confirmed. 60 of 147. More than proxy requested second supplemental interview. Academy legal clerk scheduled 2 weeks out. Stall 1. Stall math. Saturday, Caden found certification audit committee had added more than administrative observer to liaison roster for final audit week. Observer not Davin. Same office. Pressure tightening. He told Nova in garden at dusk. Operational pair placement. She said, fighting. He said, yes. She said, plan. They planned. Audit read acceleration. Observer misdirection through redundant pillar sites. Sarah channel on observer credentials. Torin channel on legal clerk stall. Distributed fighting. Not solo management. Sunday week 24 closed with 60 nodes and second interview 2 weeks out and Len probe logged and Vane letter on file and Sila's corridor sentences echoing in notebook without being fully written until privacy allowed. Nova wrote in the notebook at midnight. Sila review week. More than coordinated interview request. Supplemental compliance. East wing question deflected true incomplete. Len Crane advisory probe. Bureaucratic channel. 3 compliance questions filed. Vane letter to father copied chancellor. Tea offer. Welfare concern. Circling grammar. Node 60 confirmed. Third more than registry inquiry. Observer added audit liaison final week. Sila corridor foreshadow. Son tells things without words. Daughter same. No Lisa detail yet. Mother waiting. Crane pressure building institutional not martial. Fighting compression with delay architecture and distributed plan. Full Sila conversation not yet. She closed notebook. Outside window academy grounds dark with review lanterns extinguished and tower returning to ordinary cover that was not ordinary underneath. More than and crane pressure building, not east wing blaze, but compression. Tea offers, compliance interviews, registry inquiries, audit observers, crane surname on schedules, mother files growing. 60 nodes confirmed, 87 still hidden, enemy timelines still unknown. Alliance holding. Operational pair planning observer misdirection. Year 3 rhythm continuing with firewall pressure on every channel and the fight no longer solo. Week 25 waited with second interview on horizon and audit final week and observer credentials to misdirect and Sila's incomplete file and Vethan's tea offer unanswered and the longer conversation about Lisa still waiting in the space between a mother's 2 corridor sentences. Nova slept not peacefully but enough. Fighting continued. That was the week, and what it meant to stop managing and start fighting when fighting looked like clerks and seals and mothers who inferred without words and archivists who offered tea instead of sending rank 5 mages. Pressure building, alliance holding, map growing, war not finished and not abandoned, continued in the distributed grammar of people who had decided to proceed without being sure they trusted each other yet.